Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. This actually might be the last episode of the Sesh Grand Prix podcast, as you know it now. More info about that at the end of the video. But I am your host, Raveheart, here as always with my best friend, my co-host, my partner in crime, Taylor Surreal. And, the Turkish Grand Prix. How'd you feel about it? Yeah, kind of Kind of. It's between and meh. Not really. Can't really decide one way or the other. It's just not really. Wasn't an exciting race. Not in the slightest. But let's knock out the results real quick. We had Valtteri Bottas P1, Max Verstappen P2, Checo Perez P3, who almost got you some points. Almost. With Charles Leclerc's P4 and Lewis Hamilton P5, with Valtteri Bottas taking the fastest lap at a 1:30.432. Yeah, dude, like this one was just like I had high hopes after last year, especially with like things looking like they were going to stay wet the whole time. I was expecting some craziness that just never ended up materializing.
No.
It's like, yeah, Russia, after that race, it's kind of hard. Like, it's going to be hard for anything that's, like, doesn't have, like, direct championship implications. It's going to be hard for anything to match that. And this had, like, some title implications, but, like, they're minor. It's like, when the margin's like 8 points or something like that, like you're not talking about enough that can't be swung by one guy making a mistake in the next race.
Right.
It's, very much still up for grabs. Which, like, that's what we want, right? Ideally. But
Absolutely.
it's like, once you back a particular dog in that fight, you almost don't want to know. It's like you'd love for Max to just knock this out, win the next two, put it like mathematically out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. And then, it doesn't matter after that. But like, yeah, I don't think this one's probably going down to the wire.
I think so as well. Which, if I remember correctly, Max did just take the lead by several points.
I mean, if by several points you mean like 8.
Yeah.
Like had Hamilton kept P3, it would have been like 2 or 3 points. That miscalculation by his pit team, that kind of fucked him.
Not nearly as bad as who was it? Which one of the Aston Martin drivers was it that decided to stay on the slicks?
I think that was Seb, but I think that was also his choice to a certain extent. That did not that didn't go well.
No. And meanwhile, while he's like spinning and like fighting to stay, he can't even get grip anywhere. And they're like, "Do you want to come in and switch the tires?" He's like, "No." Can I keep him? And they're like, "Yeah, I guess." He's like, "Okay, yeah, I want to keep him." What
or it's
are you doing, my man?
Or like, what was it? Charles Leclerc, like, when he was leading the race, it was like, "Can we take these tires to the end? Can we win this thing?" And it's like, "No, bud, no, you can't." Like, I love the optimism from him in that moment where it's like he's coming over the radio like, "We can win this thing. Let's stay out on these tires." And there's just like, you pit with like 10 laps to go. It's like, sorry, bud, just wasn't in the cards for you. I mean, like, but fair play to Esteban Ocon for actually making it through the race on that one set of tires. Like that in and of itself deserves like a point. Like
Right,
just
that's
for
pretty wild.
he should get 2 points for finishing 10th, but not changing tires during the race. Cause that's just
Yeah,
bananas.
bold strategy, Cotton.
Yes, extremely bold. But all right, it's time we face the music, bud. But yeah, we dropped the rare double goose this week. Um, yeah, complete strikeouts. So that's two
Woo!
that's two Golden Cock Awards in 1 week, going out to each one of us respectively for not
That's
being
never
able to
happened
pick
before.
a damn thing right in the predictors championship.
It was bound to happen at some point statistically, or maybe not.
I mean,
Maybe we just defied
I'm
statistics.
having a rough couple weeks because like I got the goose egg last week. Now it's the double goose this week.
Well, at least you got company this time.
Yeah, yeah. At least the gap is maintained. So it's still 185 to 137. It's still very much in there's opportunities for you to catch up, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, um have we talked about the livery yet?
No.
Okay, so let's take a couple seconds to just talk about the beautiful white elephant in the room. That would be the Red Bull one-off livery. Just it was just fucking clean. It was perfect. It was cheers Red Bull.
We saw what it looked like before the race. We saw the videos, we saw the up closes, whatever. But liveries don't. It doesn't really matter until it's on the track, in my opinion. And once it was on the track, ooh, against the other cars and whatnot, the way it stood out, fantastic. Like you said before, I think we need more white livery.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's like literally the only like you can catch me in F1 open lobbies every once in a while. But I will only be running that white livery from now on. That's the only one. I will not run anything else.
And like you said when we were talking before the recording, the only way I think they could have made it better is if the Red Bull logo was all red.
Yeah,
In even further tribute to Honda,
and
just white
Japan
and
in
red.
general, because like
Yeah,
it's
but it was clean,
it
very
was
clean.
very clean, and I hope that I think we said this in our like original livery ranking video, but like the the Red Bull as we know it, that navy blue and red and yellow, like that's classic. That's a modern classic. But this one, this white, just I'm not saying Red Bull should think about changing it, but you should think about changing it. Like that white is just so fucking clean and it pops. It looks so good.
Oh,
It's
he
just and
stood
then you
out
do
everywhere.
like next year on the 2022 or 2022s with those wheel covers. You do those all white wheel covers. Oh,
Woo!
so good. All right,
Yes.
but the other thing I want to talk about is the LHT 1000 getting real pissy over the radio at his fucking crew when he came out after that late pit and it cost him. Like, I don't know. I thought he was always supposed to lose position regardless of like when he came in. Like I guess maybe there would have been a point where he could have pitted when he was in third, and maybe not kept track position, but could have at the very least like regained that spot before the end of the race. But
Right.
like he just didn't give his tires enough of that window to like get in that proper operating space.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, I think it's yeah, they fucked up, but it's also like you were trying to get them to let you run till the end of the race anyway. So you can't really talk shit when they're telling you, like, when they've got more data than you can't really fault them for saying, hey, you've got to come in.
Man, do I love seeing a pissy Lewis Hamilton, though.
It is a nice sight to see.
And hilarious that to think of, like, post-race, how one garage is ecstatic, and then the other garage, I think the announcer was saying, is going to be doing debrief till 3 in the morning or something ridiculous.
Yeah, like absolutely furious Lewis Hamilton, just basically playing like, here's where you fucked up, here's where you fucked up, here's where you fucked up. Like,
they're going to be watching film till, like, all night. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see Sir Lewis making people do that.
Oh, and Toto Wolff. Both
oh yeah, they're okay. Yeah, they're both couple of control freaks there. But yeah, let's move on to this week's big question, and that is, will engine penalties or power unit whatever penalties have an impact on the drivers' championship?
It's very possible. I mean, how many penalties has each team taken thus far, meaning Red Bull and Mercedes, this season?
So Valtteri's taken one.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Checo's taken one.
Verstappen's taken one.
Yep, he took his in Russia.
Yep,
and
Lewis just took his.
Well, no, he didn't take his. He took a 10-place grid drop for swapping out the internal combustion engine. So like just the block, just the V6 got replaced, not the hybrid system or the batteries. Yeah. So like
okay.
That's why he got the 10 place and not like him getting sent all the way to the back of the grid. That would have been like had he replaced the whole thing.
I see.
But it's also like, if there's like a sketchy crash in free practice or whatever, and like there's a very real possibility that like having to replace that engine is going to put them at the back of the grid. And like, I know this whole thing was like over the budget, but it just seems like, I don't know, it's like some game mechanic where it's like they're just, the devs of F1 have decided, you know what? Let's add a survival element here and say that you have to manage your resources to a certain point where if you fuck up past this many times, you're going to get just nailed for it. I'm not 100% sure that's like really all that fair.
Makes things a little more interesting, though, because these guys have virtually infinite budgets that they could just power unit. But, so I guess it puts a little bit of a governor switch on their abilities. But I think it could have, I think it's a very real concern for the rest of the season, the short remaining bit we have left.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. Imagine we have another wet race and somebody crashes in qualifying or practice, like you're saying, or even during the race when they're really going neck and neck.
Yep.
That could be devastating, especially of how close they are in the points. Like if one of them was blowing the other out and had to replace another unit or a unit at all and had to take the grid penalty in the upcoming race, you got a cushion there. But because of how close they are in the points, this makes it very serious.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to be seeing them driving the wheels off the car, like just driving mad, or if we're going to see them driving a little more cautious. I don't know.
If one of them is going to be more cautious, I have a gut feeling it's Sir Lewis.
Probably.
Because Max, it's going to be And I think Christian Horner, I think his general attitude kind of backs it up, but it's like he's got that gunslinger kind of,
Yes.
that West Coast spread offense NFL coordinator type vibe, where it's just like, look, huck it up the field as many times as possible. I don't give a shit about interceptions. Just, yards, bombs, just drop them. Like,
run the score up.
Yeah.
Do it.
So, it's interesting to think that, like, because it's also like Toto will back Lewis's play and Christian will back Max's till the end of the line.
Correct.
They've proved through like press appearances that they'll do that. Like, my biggest question is, like, what happens? It's like they come together going into the last race of the year, and Max has to swap out a power unit, but Lewis is the one that hits him and puts him into the wall. Like, imagine the absolute shitstorm online that will pop up if that's what happened. If we get Silverstone round 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Max has to replace an engine, and heading into the final race of the year has to take, that massive grid penalty.
Now, imagine them both, like, say he has the engine penalty, say they penalize Lewis for intentional whatever. Imagine they're both, say this is the last race of the season, and they're both starting from the rear.
Oh, yes.
And
that would be even better.
The whole race, we're just watching them fight for points from the rear. Nobody cares about who's in first or third or 1 through 5.
That would be so great. That would be amazing.
That'd be ideal.
Leave us a comment. Tell us how we're gonna make this happen. F1 conspiracy files. I think that's a good spot to end it. So the next race, baby, it's coming home. The United States Grand Prix, Austin, Texas,
Woo!
Circuit of the Americas, October 24th.
Cue the national anthem.
Yep. I'll put that in the edit. I probably won't, but whatever. Yeah. So that will be coming up October 24th. We will see you guys early next week for the predictions. Hopefully, just being in the general vicinity of Formula One racing, the fact that it has crossed into the borders of our collective nation will mean that one of us will get a pick right for once. Hopefully. We'll see. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you like from this episode or what you'd like us to talk about in another one. I have been Raveheart. He has been Taylor Surreal. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Adios.